Hello friends. What happens when two souls ruled by the same moon decide to orbit each other? When a Cancer man meets a Cancer woman, the universe almost sighs, "Ah, so you've finally found your mirror." It's a story not just of love, but of deep emotional resonance, a meeting of tides that ebb and flow in perfect rhythm. But as beautiful as that sounds, can two people so sensitive, so intuitive, so deeply emotional, truly thrive together? Or do their matching waves eventually crash? After watching, if you'd like to support the channel, click the thanks button right under this video or use the donation alerts link in the description. Your support really helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks so much for being here. Let's dive into the ocean of their connection and explore every layer, from the spark that ignites to the bond that lasts a lifetime. Chemistry. Initial attraction. When a Cancer man and Cancer woman first meet, the air between them seems to shimmer with a quiet, lunar kind of electricity, not the wild spark of impulsive passion, but something subtler, older, and infinitely more mysterious. It's as if the moon itself pauses for a breath, whispering, "Here are two souls cut from the same tide." Their eyes meet, and in that instant, something ancient stirs. It's recognition, not of faces or voices, but of energies, rhythms, emotional codes written in the language of water. The Cancer man senses in her an echo of his own gentleness, a familiar softness that feels both inviting and unnerving. The Cancer woman, equally intuitive, feels a warmth rise in her chest, a strange blend of curiosity and déjà vu. Neither rushes to speak, because both understand that this kind of connection is not about words. It's about the feeling that something sacred has quietly unfolded before them. Their attraction is woven from empathy, the invisible understanding that emotions are their shared currency. When they talk, it's never small talk. Even their lightest banter drifts into deeper waters, dreams, family, childhood memories. They might find themselves laughing at how naturally their moods sync, how they can finish each other's sentences before realizing they've started them. This emotional mirroring is intoxicating. It feels safe yet thrilling, like rediscovering a forgotten melody that once meant everything. There is an ease in their silence. Unlike other pairs who might fill every pause with nervous chatter, the Cancer man and woman are perfectly content to sit together, letting the quiet speak for them. Their chemistry thrives in that space, the in-between, where emotions breathe freely. The brush of a hand, the shared glance across a room, the way one senses when the other needs reassurance. All of these moments weave a web of intimacy long before romance is even spoken aloud. Yet, beneath this tenderness lies a quiet tension, the fear of exposure. Both Cancers have spent their lives guarding their hearts, building thick shells to protect the ocean within. The Cancer man, though naturally nurturing, is hesitant to reveal his full emotional world too quickly. He offers gestures of care, a thoughtful question, a kind smile, an act of service, but keeps his truest feelings close, testing whether she is safe enough to receive them. The Cancer woman, reading him with her intuitive radar, mirrors that caution. She, too, has known the ache of misplaced trust and the sting of emotional disappointment. So she moves slowly, letting her warmth unfold like dawn, gentle, patient, deliberate. This delicate dance creates a chemistry that feels both eternal and suspended in time. There's a kind of spiritual gravity at work, a pull that neither fully understands yet neither can resist. They are drawn together not because of flash or drama, but because being near each other feels like coming home. It's not the thrill of conquest they seek, but the comfort of belonging. Every glance, every shared smile becomes a soft promise, "You are safe here." When they begin to open up, the depth of their connection becomes undeniable. Conversations drift effortlessly from surface to soul. He tells her about his fears, not in grand confessions, but in quiet admissions slipped between sentences. She listens with the patience of the moon watching the tide, nodding, understanding not just his words but the spaces between them. In return, she reveals her own emotional landscape, her hopes and insecurities, trusting that he will hold them gently. And he does, always. Their chemistry deepens through mutual vulnerability. It's the kind of bond that feels fated, as though they were meant to find each other precisely because they understand the language of emotion that most others overlook. Together, they create an atmosphere of protection and warmth, where feelings are not judged but nurtured. He admires her intuitive strength, she treasures his emotional steadiness. They both crave closeness, but it's not merely physical, it's soulful, a merging of emotional energies that transcends logic. Friends might observe them and think they move too slowly, that nothing is happening. But what they don't see is the silent dialogue happening beneath the surface, the exchange of glances that speak volumes, the subtle shifts in tone that reveal comfort and care. To a Cancer man and Cancer woman, emotional safety is the most seductive thing in the world. Once that safety is earned, everything else follows naturally. This bond grows like moonlight reflected on calm water, soft, persistent, impossible to ignore. They begin to anticipate each other's moods. He knows when she's withdrawing into herself, she knows when his silence means thought rather than distance. This shared emotional intelligence becomes the heartbeat of their relationship, creating a rhythm that feels uniquely their own. Their first touches are tentative, like waves meeting the shore for the first time, cautious but full of meaning. The Cancer man approaches affection with reverence, as if he knows that every embrace carries emotional weight. The Cancer woman reciprocates with warmth that feels like sunlight filtering through clouds, gentle, healing, profoundly sincere. In those moments, they aren't just exploring attraction, they are reaffirming a deep human truth. Love, for them, is safety, and safety is love. Still, both must navigate their fears of vulnerability. Because they are so similar, their hesitations can mirror one another, each waiting for the other to make the first emotional leap. Yet this very mirroring teaches them patience and empathy. They learn to recognize that true intimacy cannot be rushed. It must unfold in its own time, guided by trust. Eventually, when the shells crack open and they truly see each other, not as idealized reflections but as complex, feeling beings, the sense of homecoming is overwhelming. It's as if the universe itself exhales, saying, "Finally, you found your reflection." Every wall that once protected them now serves as the foundation of a shared sanctuary. Their chemistry transforms from soft curiosity to a profound emotional alliance, one built on mutual respect, emotional safety, and unconditional care. What began as a quiet, magnetic pull becomes a steady flame, not burning out of control, but glowing with consistent warmth. Together, they create a love story written in moonlight, guided by intuition, sustained by empathy. For the Cancer man and Cancer woman, attraction is not a spark that flares and fades. It's a tide that rises, retreats, and returns, forever drawn by the gravity of their shared hearts. Emotional dynamics. If love were measured in emotional currents, the connection between a Cancer man and a Cancer woman would indeed be an ocean storm, not one of destruction, but of power, depth, and movement. Their emotions don't simply touch the surface, they pull from the deepest trenches of the human soul. Together, they create a world that is as emotionally rich as it is unpredictable, filled with breathtaking highs, tender stillness, and the occasional wave that crashes harder than either expected. For both, emotion isn't a passing sensation, it's an entire language, one that they speak fluently, often without words. When a Cancer man walks into a room, the Cancer woman doesn't just see him, she feels him. His moods ripple through her like vibrations through water, subtle but undeniable. Likewise, he senses her shifts, the quiet sadness beneath her smile, the unspoken worry behind her laughter. It's almost psychic, this ability to tune into each other's frequencies. They don't have to ask what's wrong, they just know. At their best, this emotional connection makes them each other's safe harbor. The Cancer man, guided by his protective instincts, becomes a stabilizing force when the woman feels overwhelmed. He offers warmth not through grand gestures, but through presence, a comforting hand on her back, a look that says, "You're not alone." The Cancer woman, in turn, knows how to soothe him when his insecurities rise. Her nurturing energy wraps around him like a familiar blanket. When he doubts himself, she reminds him of his strength. When he retreats, she waits patiently, understanding that silence is often his way of healing. Their love, in many ways, is an emotional dialogue, fluid, responsive, alive. They don't just exchange affection, they exchange energy. Every smile, every sigh, every shared glance carries meaning. Their home becomes a sanctuary from the outside world, a place where they can drop their masks and simply be. It's not uncommon for them to spend entire evenings in quiet companionship, communicating more through touch and presence than conversation. There's comfort in that silence, a mutual understanding that words can sometimes dilute what the heart already knows. But such emotional openness comes with its shadows. The same empathy that binds them can also amplify their fears. When one feels hurt, the other feels it too, not as an observer, but as a participant. The Cancer man's retreat into silence can feel like rejection to the Cancer woman, even if it's simply his way of coping. And when she internalizes that distance, she may withdraw in turn, creating a loop of mutual isolation. Both crave reassurance, yet both struggle to ask for it. Instead, they hope the other will sense their need and respond instinctively, which, of course, doesn't always happen. Their moods, much like the tides ruled by their shared ruler, the moon, are in constant motion. One moment, the relationship feels like a tranquil bay, calm, glowing, intimate. The next, a wave of insecurity might surge unexpectedly. Maybe he misreads her quietness as disinterest. Maybe she misinterprets his distraction as emotional detachment. These small miscommunications can snowball, not because of malice, but because both care too deeply to confront each other directly. They avoid conflict like crabs sidestepping a threat, preferring withdrawal to direct confrontation. The irony? Their avoidance often hurts them more than any argument could. Still, within this emotional ebb and flow lies incredible potential for growth. Because both partners feel so deeply, they also possess an extraordinary capacity for forgiveness, compassion, and healing. The Cancer man, once he recognizes that his silence can wound, learns to open up more quickly, sharing his fears before they harden into walls. The Cancer woman, realizing that her emotional intensity is both her gift and her challenge, begins to express herself with gentler honesty. Together, they learn that vulnerability isn't danger, it's intimacy's foundation. When they align emotionally, it's magic. Their bond becomes a source of renewal, as if every moment together refills something sacred within them. They become each other's emotional mirror, not to mimic, but to reflect and understand. The Cancer man learns from her emotional intelligence, she learns from his resilience. When one falters, the other steadies the ship. They ride the waves together, learning that storms are not signs of destruction, but reminders of how vast their love truly is. There are moments in this relationship that feel almost cinematic in their emotional resonance. Picture them sitting by the window on a rainy night, sharing stories of their pasts, childhood memories, family bonds, the wounds that shaped them. There are tears, of course, but they're cleansing ones. Each story deepens their empathy, weaving their emotional histories into a shared tapestry of understanding. In those moments, love becomes less about romance and more about recognition. You've been hurt too. You've loved deeply too. You understand me. But the Cancer-Cancer bond is not just about shared pain, it's about shared joy. Their emotions swing to extremes, and when happiness visits, it's luminous. They celebrate the small things, a meal cooked together, an inside joke, a morning spent wrapped in quiet affection. Their laughter has an intimacy that outsiders rarely see. It's the sound of two people who know each other's hearts down to their tides. Yet, they must always guard against emotional dependency, the tendency to merge so completely that individual boundaries blur. When two empaths fall in love, it's tempting to lose oneself entirely in the other's world. The Cancer man might begin to take on her worries as his own. The Cancer woman might absorb his moods until she forgets her own needs. Balance becomes their lifeline. They must remember that loving someone deeply doesn't mean carrying their every sorrow. It means walking beside them, not instead of them. Their relationship thrives when they learn to communicate openly rather than intuitively. While their emotional radar is powerful, it's not infallible. Words still matter. A simple, "I'm feeling distant today," can prevent days of silent tension. A gentle, "I need some space," can stop a misunderstanding before it blooms. When they talk, really talk, they discover that emotional honesty is their greatest strength. Over time, their emotional dynamic matures into something steady and profoundly comforting. The early volatility softens into rhythm. They learn each other's patterns, his need for retreat, her need for reassurance, and meet each other halfway. The Cancer man realizes that her emotional waves aren't storms to be feared but tides to be embraced. The Cancer woman learns that his quietness isn't rejection but reflection. In that mutual understanding, peace takes root. There's something almost sacred about the way they hold space for each other's feelings. When the Cancer woman cries, the Cancer man doesn't rush to fix it. He simply holds her until the tears subside. When he struggles with doubt, she doesn't push him to speak before he's ready. She lets him come to her, trusting he will. Their empathy doesn't demand, it invites. Their love doesn't consume, it nourishes. Ultimately, the emotional life of this pairing is not a calm pond but a living sea. There are waves, yes, and sometimes storms. But there's also infinite depth, movement, and reflection. Their connection reminds us that love isn't always about stability. Sometimes, it's about learning to float together in the shifting currents. Through their shared emotional tides, the Cancer man and Cancer woman discover the most profound truth of all. When two hearts beat in empathy, even the roughest waters can feel like home. Long-term compatibility. For a Cancer man and a Cancer woman, long-term love isn't simply a possibility, it's their natural destiny. When these two souls come together, they build a world that feels less like a relationship and more like a home, one filled with warmth, security, and emotional understanding. From the very beginning, they sense that they're not just partners, they're each other's emotional sanctuary, the one person in the world who truly gets it. Over time, this connection only deepens. They are both drawn to the idea of forever, to a kind of love that doesn't fade but matures like fine wine, richer, softer, more meaningful with every passing year. They are not adrenaline junkies in love. They are builders of legacy, dreamers of domestic peace. For them, commitment isn't a cage. It's comfort, a chosen safety that allows their hearts to unfold in full. The Cancer man takes immense pride in being a provider, not necessarily in the material sense, but emotionally. He thrives when he feels that his efforts make his partner feel secure. Whether it's fixing something around the house, planning small surprises, or simply making sure she knows he's always there, he communicates love through constancy. To him, devotion is not in the words but in the daily gestures, the steady rhythm of reliability that tells her, "You can lean on me." The Cancer woman receives this energy with a heart full of gratitude, and she reciprocates tenfold. Her love is nurturing, deeply rooted in emotional presence. She brings warmth to the home, turning their shared space into a haven. Every small detail matters to her. The way the morning light hits the curtains, the scent of coffee on a lazy Sunday, the sound of laughter in their kitchen. These seemingly small moments are sacred to her because they are the threads that weave the fabric of her emotional world. Together, they become the kind of couple that builds traditions, birthdays celebrated with sentimental rituals, anniversaries marked with heartfelt letters, holidays filled with family and quiet joy. Their shared sense of nostalgia strengthens their bond, giving their love an almost timeless quality. For them, love isn't about grand gestures. It's about everyday tenderness, the slow and steady comfort of knowing someone's heart beats beside your own. However, their sameness, while beautiful, can also be their greatest challenge. Because they share the same emotional instincts and protective tendencies, their relationship can sometimes settle into predictability. The Cancer man, in his desire for peace, may resist change. The Cancer woman, craving emotional safety, may unconsciously avoid anything that disrupts their routine. Over the years, this mutual comfort can quietly transform into stagnation, not through neglect, but through overprotection. It's not uncommon for this pair to fall into patterns so familiar that they stop challenging each other. Their home becomes a cocoon, safe, yes, but insulated. The Cancer man might hesitate to express his restlessness for fear of hurting her feelings. The Cancer woman might sense his quiet discontent yet be too afraid to confront it, worried that conflict might disturb their harmony. This emotional politeness, while well-intentioned, can create invisible distance. The secret to sustaining their long-term compatibility lies in remembering that comfort and growth are not opposites, they're partners. The Cancer man and woman must learn to keep evolving together, to step out of their shells and explore new horizons without losing the safety they cherish. This doesn't mean they have to change who they are. Rather, they must keep the relationship alive by continually rediscovering each other. A weekend road trip, a new hobby, a shared creative project, these experiences inject new energy into their emotional rhythm. The Cancer man, despite his love for the familiar, has a quiet curiosity that thrives when nurtured. He dreams of seeing new places, of expanding his world while keeping his roots intact. The Cancer woman, once she feels secure, is equally adventurous in her own way, emotionally brave, willing to explore new sides of intimacy, communication, and self-expression. When they encourage each other to grow rather than retreat, they create a dynamic relationship that remains fresh and fulfilling through the years. Another key to their long-term success lies in how they handle emotional cycles. As two deeply sensitive beings, they are naturally attuned to the highs and lows of life. But long-term love isn't about avoiding storms, it's about learning how to weather them together. The Cancer man's steady emotional compass provides stability when the waters get rough. The Cancer woman's empathy and patience help soothe the tension. Over time, they develop an unspoken resilience, the quiet knowledge that no matter what happens outside, they will always return to each other. Their shared ruling planet, the Moon, gifts them with a natural rhythm, waxing and waning, ebbing and flowing. In their long-term relationship, this translates into periods of deep closeness followed by gentle independence. They intuitively understand that emotional space doesn't mean emotional distance. When the Cancer man retreats into his shell to recharge, the Cancer woman doesn't panic. She trusts the tide will bring him back. And when she needs solitude to process her feelings, he gives it freely, knowing that love, like the ocean, always returns to shore. Their long-term home life is likely to be a reflection of their personalities, serene, sentimental, and filled with love-soaked details. Family photographs, cozy corners, handwritten notes, their environment mirrors their inner world. They are both memory keepers, cherishing the past as much as the present. Even in old age, they will look back and smile at the small rituals that defined their love story. The meals cooked together, the quiet nights watching the moon, the laughter shared over things no one else would understand. What sets this pair apart from many others is their emotional endurance. When problems arise, they don't easily give up. Their instinct is to protect, to nurture, to fix. They would rather mend a crack than abandon the structure. Both see love as a lifelong promise, not a temporary convenience. The Cancer man's loyalty borders on sacred. Once he commits, his heart stays tethered. The Cancer woman's devotion is equally unwavering. She invests fully, with the quiet determination of someone who believes in forever. Yet, their devotion must always be paired with emotional honesty. Because they both dislike conflict, they may sometimes bury discomfort beneath kindness. Over time, suppressed feelings can become invisible walls. The healthiest long-term version of their love is one where vulnerability flows freely, where he can admit when he feels unappreciated, and she can share when she feels unheard. When they choose truth over silence, their emotional connection deepens immeasurably. In the later chapters of their love story, this couple often becomes an inspiration to others. Friends might marvel at how effortlessly they understand each other, how they still hold hands after decades together. But it isn't luck, it's effort. Their compatibility endures because they continually choose each other, day after day, year after year. They renew their vows not just in ceremonies but in small daily acts, making tea for one another, listening with patience, laughing together at life's absurdities. In time, their bond becomes something sacred, something few ever experience. They become not just lovers, but companions, healers, and mirrors for each other's souls. They weather seasons, the excitement of youth, the trials of middle age, the quiet wisdom of later years, with grace. Their love, like the moon's light, may wax and wane, but it never disappears. It only changes shape, reflecting the endless cycle of emotion, care, and renewal that defines them. Ultimately, the long-term compatibility between a Cancer man and Cancer woman is less about avoiding challenges and more about how they embrace them. They understand that true intimacy isn't static, it evolves. Love, for them, is not a fire that burns brightly and fades, but a hearth that stays lit through every season. And when all the noise of life fades away, when the years have carved stories into their faces, they'll still find each other at the end of every day, two souls, still in sync, still at home in each other's hearts. Communication conflict resolution. When it comes to communication, a Cancer man and a Cancer woman share something extraordinary, a form of emotional connection that transcends ordinary language. Their conversations aren't just exchanges of words, they are subtle dances of tone, expression, and intuition. Often, a glance, a sigh, or even silence conveys more meaning than a full paragraph could. It's as though they communicate in frequencies others can't hear, sensing each other's feelings long before they're spoken aloud. But this deep, almost psychic bond is both their greatest gift and their greatest trap. Because they understand each other so instinctively, they sometimes stop using words altogether, relying instead on intuition to fill in the blanks. This can work beautifully when their emotional energies are aligned, but when they're not, when one feels off, tired, or distant, it can become a breeding ground for misunderstanding. They begin to assume instead of ask, to interpret instead of clarify. What was once harmony becomes confusion. Imagine this: the Cancer woman senses the Cancer man's silence and assumes she has upset him. Her sensitivity makes her retreat slightly, trying to give him space while also nursing a quiet ache. Meanwhile, he's merely lost in thought or burdened by something unrelated, but he notices her withdrawal and feels her coldness. Each misreads the other's silence, and the space between them widens. Neither wants to hurt the other, both are afraid to push too hard. So they say nothing, and in that silence, tension grows. This is the paradox of their communication. They feel so much that they sometimes fear saying anything at all. Conflict, to them, feels like emotional danger. It's not anger they fear but the possibility of wounding someone they love so deeply. So instead of expressing frustration, they hold it inside, wearing smiles over unspoken worries. The Cancer man, protective by nature, doesn't want to burden her with his darker moods. The Cancer woman, nurturing and gentle, doesn't want to seem demanding or emotional. And yet, by hiding their true feelings, they create exactly what they fear: distance. The key to their long-term communication lies in courage, the quiet kind that speaks even when the voice trembles. The Cancer man must learn that vulnerability isn't a threat to his strength, it is his strength. When he shares what's truly in his heart, his doubts, his fears, his insecurities, he doesn't lose power, he deepens intimacy. The Cancer woman, equally, must remind herself that expressing need is not weakness. Her emotions are not burdens, they are bridges. Every honest conversation they have becomes a thread weaving trust more tightly between them. When they practice open communication, their relationship transforms. The guessing games disappear, replaced by mutual understanding. Their emotional telepathy evolves into something more mature, a conscious awareness that combines intuition with honesty. They begin to say things like, "I feel a little distant today," or, "When you go quiet, I worry it's about me." These simple sentences become acts of love, breaking down walls before they have the chance to rise. Conflict, however, is inevitable, even in the most loving relationships. For two Cancers, disagreements can feel like earthquakes. Because both are deeply emotional, even a small misunderstanding can feel like betrayal. But here's where their natural empathy saves them. They don't fight to win, they fight to restore peace. Still, their instinct is often to avoid confrontation altogether. Instead of talking things out, they withdraw, hoping time will smooth things over. Unfortunately, avoidance doesn't dissolve hurt, it preserves it. Their silences, though peaceful on the surface, can sometimes turn into emotional quicksand. The Cancer man might retreat into his inner world, replaying scenarios and convincing himself he's failed her. The Cancer woman, sensing his withdrawal, might internalize guilt, believing she's the cause. The result is two wounded hearts hiding behind smiles, waiting for the other to make the first move. What they need is a shift, not in love but in perspective. When disagreements arise, they must remember that conflict is not a threat to their relationship but a doorway to understanding. Instead of asking, "Who's right?" they should ask, "What do we both need to feel safe again?" That single question reframes the entire dynamic. It moves them from blame to healing, from tension to teamwork. When they approach conflict with gentleness, it becomes almost therapeutic. The Cancer man's calm presence allows her to express her feelings without fear of judgment. The Cancer woman's empathy helps him open up without shame. They may cry, they may fall silent, but eventually, they find their way back through touch, a hug, a hand held across the table, a quiet whisper of "I'm sorry." These gestures are their emotional language, their way of saying, "We're okay. We'll always be okay." For them, forgiveness comes naturally, because love outweighs pride. Neither enjoys holding grudges, it feels too heavy for their soft hearts. Instead, they process, reflect, and release. The Cancer man tends to offer peace offerings, cooking her favorite meal, fixing something around the house, or simply being present in his quiet, reassuring way. The Cancer woman forgives with tenderness, her empathy melting tension faster than words ever could. Together, they repair emotional rifts not with arguments, but with compassion. Over time, they learn to see communication not as an obligation, but as an act of devotion. It's how they protect what they've built. Their words become tools of reassurance, their silences spaces of understanding. When they disagree, they no longer fear it. They see it as proof that they care enough to work through differences. They begin to understand that perfect harmony isn't the absence of conflict, it's the ability to find balance after it. In moments of emotional strain, their home becomes a reflection of their hearts, quiet, candlelit, safe. They talk softly, often late into the night, until every misunderstanding feels small again. The Cancer man listens deeply, his empathy steady and grounding. The Cancer woman speaks with honesty and warmth, her vulnerability becoming an anchor. It's not dramatic, not fiery, it's healing. Every time they resolve something with grace, their bond becomes stronger, more resilient. But for this kind of harmony to last, they must continue choosing communication over assumption. They must resist the temptation to retreat when things get hard. For two Cancers, the world can feel harsh, but together, they can create a sanctuary built on trust, where honesty is always met with kindness. When they remember that their partner is not an opponent but an ally, even the toughest conversations become opportunities to grow closer. In the end, their communication style mirrors the moon itself, sometimes hidden, sometimes bright, but always constant. They may not always have the perfect words, but they always have the right intentions. When they face conflict with tenderness instead of fear, they turn potential storms into gentle rain, washing away misunderstanding and leaving behind clearer skies. Through patience, openness, and forgiveness, the Cancer man and Cancer woman prove that emotional honesty is not the end of peace, it's the beginning of it. And once they master that, no silence, no storm, no miscommunication can ever pull them apart for long. Physical intimate connection. The physical connection between a Cancer man and a Cancer woman is not the kind that burns bright and vanishes. It's slow, deliberate, and built on an emotional foundation that gives it rare staying power. Their intimacy begins long before they ever touch, in glances, in gestures, in shared silences that hum with unspoken affection. For them, attraction is not a lightning strike, it's a sunrise. The warmth unfolds gradually, illuminating more and more of who they are as they grow closer. When a Cancer man and Cancer woman come together, it feels less like lust and more like coming home. Every embrace, every caress carries the weight of trust and belonging. They don't rush into intimacy because neither is capable of separating physical closeness from emotional connection. To them, the body and the soul speak the same language, and that language is tenderness. The Cancer man approaches intimacy as both protector and giver. His touch is gentle, deliberate, full of intention. He doesn't crave conquest, he craves connection. What excites him is not dominance but devotion, the quiet magic of making his partner feel safe, adored, and understood. When he holds her, it's as if he's shielding her from the world. His affection is slow and careful, but deeply felt. He listens with his hands, learns her rhythms, and matches them instinctively, like the tide syncing with the moon. The Cancer woman meets him with an equal depth of sensitivity. Her sensuality is emotional before it is physical. She wants to feel loved before she can surrender to touch. When she does, she gives completely, body and soul. Her intimacy is nurturing, almost spiritual, transforming the act of love into a form of care. She creates an atmosphere of warmth, of candlelight and comfort, where vulnerability feels safe and desire feels sacred. With her, physical intimacy is never mechanical. It's artful, intuitive, imbued with meaning. Together, they create a bond that transcends simple passion. Their physical chemistry mirrors their emotional one, slow-burning, soulful, and lasting. They may not have the wild volatility of other signs, but what they share is infinitely more powerful, a union of emotional honesty and sensual depth. Their connection is like the tide meeting the shore, gentle yet unstoppable, familiar yet always renewing itself. Every kiss feels like reassurance, every touch, a promise. They don't need intensity to feel close, they need presence. The Cancer man cherishes eye contact, the brush of fingers, the warmth of shared breath. The Cancer woman thrives on closeness, on the comfort of skin-to-skin contact that says, "I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere." Their passion is not noisy, it's quiet and encompassing, the kind that makes the world disappear for a while. Because both are so emotionally attuned, their moods shape their physical connection. When they're emotionally in sync, their intimacy is transcendent, full of empathy and sensual awareness. But when tension or misunderstanding creeps in, it can subtly cool the warmth between them. The Cancer man, when hurt or uncertain, tends to withdraw, retreating into emotional solitude. The Cancer woman, sensing that distance, might interpret it as rejection and respond by closing herself off. In those moments, their physical bond wanes, not out of disinterest, but because their emotions act as the gatekeepers to their bodies. For them, intimacy and trust are inseparable. They cannot fully open themselves unless they feel emotionally secure. But when that safety is established, when love flows freely and both feel seen, their connection deepens beyond what words can express. In that space of security, their passion transforms. It becomes not just physical but spiritual, a communion of souls that feels healing in its intensity. Their lovemaking often carries the emotional texture of their relationship, soft, patient, emotionally charged. They move in rhythm, guided not by lust but by intuition. They sense what the other needs without asking. The Cancer man might slow his touch when she's tired or anxious, offering gentleness instead of urgency. The Cancer woman might respond to his stress not with seduction, but with soothing, drawing him closer, grounding him, reminding him that love doesn't need performance to be real. Even outside the bedroom, their physicality remains an essential part of their connection. They are a tactile couple, one that thrives on affection in daily life. They'll hold hands while walking, lean on each other during quiet moments, share long hugs that say what words can't. Physical touch becomes their emotional language, the simplest and purest way they express loyalty, safety, and belonging. In long-term relationships, their intimacy evolves, deepening with time. While early encounters may be shy, even tentative, years later their bond becomes effortless, built on mutual understanding and comfort. The Cancer man, ever devoted, continues to show affection through subtle acts. A kiss on her shoulder as she cooks, a warm embrace before sleep, a lingering glance that still carries adoration. The Cancer woman, nurturing by nature, maintains the emotional temperature of their love, ensuring their connection never goes cold. They are the kind of couple who can find passion in simplicity, sharing a bath, lying together in silence, dancing in the living room with no music playing. Their romance thrives not on novelty but on depth. They know that true intimacy isn't about new experiences, it's about rediscovering the familiar with deeper awareness. However, their shared sensitivity can sometimes make physical intimacy a delicate balance. Because both are prone to mood swings, misunderstandings can affect their closeness. If one feels unappreciated or emotionally disconnected, they might unconsciously withhold affection. For this reason, emotional communication becomes the anchor that holds their physical bond steady. They must talk, reassure, and reconnect often, not with grand gestures, but with honest presence. When they do, their physical connection reignites effortlessly. It's never forced. The Cancer man doesn't have to chase passion. It blooms naturally when tenderness returns. The Cancer woman doesn't have to rekindle desire. It's already there, waiting beneath the surface, ready to rise with a single act of love. There is also a quiet spirituality to their intimacy. Their shared ruler, the moon, makes them naturally attuned to cycles of emotion, desire, and energy. They may find that their connection feels strongest during quiet nights, when the world is still and emotions flow freely. For them, making love under moonlight or waking wrapped in each other's arms isn't just romance, it's ritual. It's the reminder that love, at its truest, is both sacred and simple. They are also deeply private lovers. What happens between them belongs only to them. They don't need validation or performative passion. They find fulfillment in the quiet depth of shared vulnerability. When they're alone, they drop all masks. The Cancer man allows his softness to show, a side few others see. The Cancer woman reveals her truest self, tender, open, infinite in her capacity for love. Together, they build a space where touch is not just physical but profoundly emotional, a safe harbor where both can return to replenish their souls. Over time, this bond becomes their anchor. When life outside feels harsh or uncertain, they retreat to each other's embrace, a world where everything makes sense again. Their physical connection doesn't just satisfy desire, it restores balance. It heals. It reminds them that they are not alone, that they belong to something larger than themselves, the quiet, steady heartbeat of shared love. Ultimately, their physical and intimate connection is less about passion's fire and more about its glow. It doesn't consume, it warms. It doesn't explode, it endures. Every touch, every shared breath, every whispered, "I love you," becomes a small act of faith, a reaffirmation that love, when grounded in emotional safety, can be the most transformative force of all. And for a Cancer man and a Cancer woman, that's what intimacy truly is, not an act, but a feeling. Not a spark, but a tide, endlessly rising, endlessly returning, carrying them home to each other, again and again. Shared values, life goals. For a Cancer man and Cancer woman, shared values are not just preferences, they are the foundation upon which everything else rests. At their core, they both seek the same things: love that feels safe, family that feels close, and a life that feels meaningful. They are not dazzled by glitter or distracted by ambition for ambition's sake. What they crave is depth, continuity, and a sense of belonging that endures long after the excitement of the new fades away. To both, love is not a fleeting romance but a lifelong devotion. The Cancer man dreams of being a protector, the steady rock in his partner's world. The Cancer woman dreams of creating warmth and beauty around that rock, turning the house they share into a sanctuary. Together, they build a life that values tenderness over trophies, emotional security over social status. They would rather share a simple dinner at home than chase glamorous adventures that pull them apart. They are deeply sentimental, carrying a quiet reverence for the little things that make life sweet. Sunday breakfasts that smell of coffee and pancakes. Evenings spent curled on the couch watching old movies. Walks under the stars where no words are needed. They find meaning in routine, in rituals that root them in love. Each small tradition becomes a thread in their shared tapestry, proof that happiness doesn't need to be loud to be real. At the heart of their shared world is home. For a Cancer-Cancer pair, home is more than a place. It's an emotional landscape, a sacred refuge from the world's noise. The Cancer man envisions himself as the provider of that safety, creating stability through loyalty, effort, and care. The Cancer woman brings color to that vision: warmth, laughter, softness. She fills the rooms with the smell of baked bread, with gentle music, with stories and affection. Together, they create a haven that reflects their souls, calm, comforting, and always welcoming. Both are natural nurturers. Their empathy isn't limited to each other. It extends outward, to family, friends, even strangers in need. They feel most fulfilled when they're giving, protecting, or healing. Whether it's caring for children, helping a neighbor, or supporting a friend through hardship, they find meaning in acts of love. Compassion, to them, is not just a virtue but a way of life. Family often becomes their greatest shared mission. They don't just dream of building a household, they dream of building a legacy of emotional openness and belonging. In their home, feelings aren't brushed aside, they're welcomed and respected. The Cancer man encourages honesty and vulnerability, while the Cancer woman ensures that comfort and acceptance always surround it. Their future children, if they have them, are likely to grow up in a world where affection is abundant and kindness is the default language. Even if they don't have children, this instinct to nurture finds other outlets. They may pour their energy into caring for pets, mentoring others, or supporting causes that speak to their compassionate hearts. They might volunteer together, adopt animals, or host friends who need a place to rest. Whatever the form, their shared sense of empathy and care binds them tightly. Professionally, both tend to seek purpose over prestige. The Cancer man wants his work to mean something, to provide stability, yes, but also to contribute in a way that feels genuine. He may thrive in careers that allow him to support others, to build, to create. The Cancer woman, equally purpose-driven, prefers environments where connection and creativity matter more than competition. Together, they often encourage each other's dreams, not pushing with pressure, but inspiring with quiet belief. Their work-life balance also reflects their shared values. They are not the type to let ambition swallow their personal lives. Both understand that time together, rest, and emotional presence are sacred. If one starts drifting too far into work, the other gently brings them back, with a meal, a shared evening, or a reminder that love is the real measure of success. Their financial goals mirror their emotional ones. They value security, not extravagance. They may save diligently, invest wisely, and plan carefully, not because they are materialistic, but because they find peace in knowing that their foundation is strong. For them, wealth is not about luxury but about the ability to take care of those they love. Their dream isn't a mansion, it's a home filled with laughter, where every corner holds a memory. Both also share a strong connection to nostalgia. They treasure memories, photos, handwritten letters, little keepsakes that remind them of how far they've come. They find joy in reliving their shared moments, their first trip together, their first apartment, their first major purchase. Every milestone is celebrated quietly but sincerely, with gratitude for what they've built and excitement for what's ahead. Emotionally, their values align almost perfectly. They both believe in loyalty as a cornerstone of love. Once committed, neither takes that bond lightly. Betrayal or dishonesty would devastate them because trust, to them, is sacred. They would rather face hardship together than comfort apart. Their sense of devotion makes them not just lovers, but lifelong allies, partners in every sense of the word. They also share a similar rhythm when it comes to life goals. Both move through life at an intentional pace, valuing quality over speed. They're not in a hurry to reach milestones. They care more about how those moments feel. A marriage built on deep understanding, a career that fulfills the soul, a family rooted in love, these are the markers of success in their eyes. Because of this shared pacing, they rarely clash over priorities. When one dreams of change, the other listens. When one wants stability, the other understands. Their intuitive connection allows them to adjust seamlessly, often without needing to explain. They just know what matters most, and it's almost always the same thing: peace, love, and emotional harmony. However, their shared love for comfort can sometimes make them resistant to risk. They may need to remind each other that growth often requires stepping outside of their cozy cocoon. Whether it's moving to a new place, pursuing a daring goal, or opening up to new experiences, they'll thrive when they learn to balance security with exploration. Luckily, because they trust each other so deeply, even bold leaps feel safe when taken together. They also share a profound spiritual connection, not necessarily religious, but rooted in faith in love, intuition, and the unseen bonds between people. They both sense that life has an emotional and cosmic rhythm, that everything happens for a reason. This belief helps them weather storms. When life gets hard, they don't lose hope. They retreat into each other's arms and rebuild from the heart outward. In the long run, their shared values make their relationship nearly unbreakable. They don't just want to be together, they want to grow together. Every goal they set, whether financial, personal, or emotional, circles back to their shared mission, creating a life that feels like home. And that's the most beautiful part of a Cancer man and Cancer woman's shared journey. Their ambitions aren't about conquering the world, but about mastering the art of love. They may never chase fame or fortune, but they'll spend a lifetime chasing meaning, in each other, in their family, in the little rituals that give their days shape. In the end, their shared values and life goals are not merely aligned, they are intertwined. They move through life like two currents in the same tide, flowing toward the same horizon. Their dreams are gentle but enduring, their love humble but profound. Together, they build a life that whispers rather than shouts. A life where love isn't something they talk about, it's something they live. Final thoughts. So, can two Cancers truly make it work? Absolutely. If they understand that love is not just about mirroring emotions but balancing them. Their relationship is a story of deep emotional resonance, a bond where tenderness meets strength, and where home is not just a place but a feeling. When they love wisely, they create a sanctuary, a world within a world, filled with empathy, loyalty, and unspoken understanding. But they must remember to open their shells, to let fresh air in, to talk, laugh, and forgive. The Cancer man and Cancer woman are two tides that, when aligned, can move mountains. Their love is quiet yet powerful, gentle yet unbreakable, a romance written not in fire but in moonlight. And maybe that's what makes it so beautiful. Because sometimes, the greatest love stories aren't the loudest ones, they're the ones whispered by the sea.